We're providing here neurologic music therapy. It's an evidence-based treatment system which looks at the neuroscience of how music impacts the brain, and then based on the function that we're addressing, designing exercises that help with that. Neurologic music therapy is really impacting for individuals with autism and other neurodivergencies in that we know for them that their brain is just wired differently. And so that's why if we focus on trying to work with them the way we would work with ourselves, it doesn't work. But to recognize there are differences, and one of those differences is weak connections in some area of the brain and overwired connections in others that make carrying out even simple tasks like sitting in a chair or working with others difficult, not because they don't want to. We know they're bright and intellectually they're not impaired, but it's how their connections are. Music is an optimizer, so it optimizes brain connectivity, and it can also reroute in the brain to create connections where there are none. So it's a great treatment for individuals with brain difference, helping them understand the brain and how their brain works, and then partnering with them to use music to help with that. And then our next step with that is really to train all the staff to be able to implement easy strategies and accommodations throughout the day, every day. From a regulation perspective, that one of the biggest brain differences is coordination of the senses. So you have people that are really heightened visually or super heightened auditorily, but not auditory directly in front of them, and their bodies integrate it. So they spend a lot of time trying to self-regulate and coordinate those senses together so they can sit in the classroom, they can learn, they can spell, get their thoughts out. And so again, we know that neurologic music therapy, we actually have a specific technique that we use that coordinates all those senses: proprioception, vision, auditory, vestibular, and then again strengthens those connectivities so that people can self-regulate. We utilize rhythm is one of the primary optimizers, and so we use drums a lot in our work, utilizing drums, and the purpose of that is a strong rhythmic input, but it also provides that proprioceptive input, which is joint muscle input. So every time you're hitting the drum, you're getting that good feedback through your whole body, which actually helps with brain connectivity. So there are two different techniques we use, but one of them, we're not really looking at the quality of the input, we're looking at the quantity to just, oh, hey, I'm feeling my body. It doesn't matter how you're hitting it. As we move into, again, coordinating the senses more, we do care about that quality. So you'll see us doing things higher, lower, engaging the legs, the feet, and all of that is really to boost the proprioception, because we know that when proprioception is boosted, there's greater autonomy in self-regulation of the nervous system, and that will bring more of the human person that all of these guys are, and bring them out. So in neurologic music therapy, that's what makes it so exciting, because we have a framework in which we're focusing on function, and rhythm and music has an immediate impact. So within 3 to 4 beats, you see a change. It also has a long-term training effect. And so we go to identify what's going to help in the immediate and then transfer that as quick as we can. Here, we're transferring it to the staff so that they can utilize techniques every day. We're not trying to change who they are, we're trying to optimize who they are. So instead of getting stuck in a visual loop or something, they're able to change that and engage. They don't have to engage. We want to give them choice. And right now what we're learning in autism with the regulation issues is that a lot of folks don't have choice. They're in these loops, these brain loops. And so the treatment that we do helps so that then they have choice. Maybe I don't want to engage. Maybe I do want to engage. But whatever it is, they have more options for choice and independence. So initially we come in, and from the moment we see the students, we're looking at how the bodies are moving. Are people moving fluently, upper and lower body, eyes are working together, or are they in one system, like monosensing that a lot of individuals on the with neurodivergence talk about, being stuck in one sense. So we're looking at that, and we're just observing, and part of our work here is to help the teachers and staff be able to do the same thing, to reframe what they're seeing, because then that helps you identify supports. And we also do that for the students. So it's like, hey, I see you doing this, but it looks like maybe you're not feeling your body. So let's give you some rhythmic input. So that's what we do from the time we walk in the door. We're looking at the bodies, and then because we are here for group support, bringing the students together to see that they can manage their bodies around others, and all the while using rhythmic input, whether it's a metronome coming on right away in the group setting, for the older students using a guitar to just give strong rhythmic input, using language. There's research that shows that individuals with autism, when they're spoken to by their parents, this was a parent research, when their parents spoke to them, their language centers didn't open up. But when their parents sang to them, their language centers in different areas of their brain did light up. So again, we use the lyrics to what we're doing. We sing about, what's happening, and you hear that where people use transitional songs and things. Well, there's science there with that singing helps. So you'll hear us singing about feeling your body, sitting in your chair, your feet on the floor. All of that, that's our goal, is that when we finish, we have students whose entire sensory systems are more coordinated, optimized, and that they're ready for the rest of the learning for the day. I know that people with autism are very social persons, but they're managing that regulation piece that doesn't allow them to demonstrate what they want, whether it's their intelligence or their engagement, their social engagement, and oftentimes behaviors are misread for things. And so that's, again, we're trying to reframe for them so they can see themselves differently and actually be seen differently. And then that helps that whole social process. And when the eyes and body are integrated, then that helps them engage in things. So yes, ultimately we're trying to bring them together. Their classes here, right? This is like their cohort that they're going to be in, and so we want to support that. But that first step is getting those bodies organized.